we've been looking at Ruan Mei for quite some time, and with all that we've unpacked from her kit, whether it be her being the first or one of the best AoE buffers, yes, we do have some other 4 stars that do the same thing, but not to the extent of what we have Ruan Mei doing, what she provides. And with all of her kit being said and done, we do and see a lot of new teams coming out of the woodworks, seeing a lot of different routes in the way we're able to build characters or use characters in the future. Ruan Mei seems to be one of the more exciting characters to come out in a very long time, but with today and the announcements that are going to be basically told today, we are going to see what her major trace nodes are going to be in her network. And the last time this ended up being some very crazy stuff. I just want to point out Fu Xuan really quickly, because Fu Xuan, when she got her traces announced, we did see that she was one of the more crazier sustainers in the game, and by far having the trace node of being able to heal allies while also being a damage mitigator was a very big deal to have in her kit. And with that being said, we now are going to be looking at Ruan Mei and what she provides, what she can do, how her quality of life is going to change when it comes to the nodes that are going to be in her network. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about them. Now, one of the first ones that are going to be a very big shocker to a lot of people and a very big maybe upset, maybe a good change in pace. There's just a lot of different things you could say about this first trace node, and it is going to be for the break effect that exceeds a certain amount, her skill will gain an extra damage buff up to a certain amount. And with that being said, this already changes the game and how we are going to build her, what Lightcones are going to be used, what planar ornaments are going to be used, what relics are going to be used, what substats we're going to be prioritizing, what main stats are going to be prioritizing. This overall just changed the way and how we're going to see Ruan Mei and how we're going to build her, because for the most part, a lot of the supports, especially the ones that don't ever do damage, we usually just pump them up with defense and HP stats, give them a lot of speed, give them the energy recharge rope, and call it a day. But for this talent specifically, or trace specifically, we are going to need a lot of break effect, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be at a certain percentage where it's going to stop. We don't know what is going to be for sure at the current moment, but when I do make my guide and review, I will be going over the max amount that you need, the minimum amount that you need, and how exactly we're going to build her. This is going to affect the relics that she is going to be rocking, the planar ornaments she's going to be rocking, the light cones, and all that type of stuff as well. We will be covering that in the guide, but for a quick note and what you're supposed to be looking for if you want to start building her at the current moment, for the relic, by far pieces like the thief set are going to be very helpful in reaching whatever break threshold she's going to have. And this is going to be because of the 2-piece set giving you break effect, the 4-piece set also giving you break effect, and then we also have hacker space giving you speed, or maybe longevous giving you the HP, or wuthering snow giving you the damage reduced. All of these can be very nice. I do think the best pieces that you can put on Ruan Mei are probably going to be 2-piece thief set, 2-piece hacker space, or possibly 4-piece thief set just for the break effect. But we'll have to see what the max amount or the minimum amount is needed when we get to the portion where we review her and also give her a guide. Now, one thing we do need to consider is that energy rope and break effect rope are going to be a major consideration in what we're going to be using, just to see when we are going to use our ultimate, how many times can we use our ultimate before it goes down. And also we have to see how much break effect do we actually need, how massive is this damage buff, because this will determine if we're going to be using break effect rope or also energy recharge rope. And this will also change if we're going to use planar ornaments like Talia or possibly Von Wack and Penacani. There's just a lot of things to look at when it comes to the talent and how it's going to structure itself with needing this much break effect or this much energy. So I can't wait to see what that's going to give. Now, for the next trace that we're going to be looking at is from the long list of buffs that she already has. She's going to be giving allies more break effect. This by far is a big buff to certain units and also certain elements. One big group of units that do like this a very lot is going to be the dot units for sure. Characters like Kafka, characters like Sampo, characters like Luca. These are characters that benefit greatly from having break effect boosted, and to giving it characters like Luca and giving it to characters like Sampo, who their break modifiers for the damage are very high. This is a very big buff. This is a very nice buff, especially coupled with every single thing that's already in her kit, such as the speed, the penetration, the breakness efficiency. There's a lot of crap that we're already packing into her kit and adding even more through this trace. So that's absolutely insane. 2 elements that for sure are going to get some major buffs because of this is going to be Quantum and Imaginary. Quantum, because you are going to be getting that nice initial break at first, and then you're also going to be giving them more delay, allowing you to do more hits and also getting that fat entanglement pop to get the highest amount of damage from them waking up. So this is a very great thing. So characters like Silwolf are by far going to benefit from this a lot. And then we also have Welts, who's going to get a very big boost to his kick based on Ruan Mei and what she's giving. The weakness break efficiency, the delay that Ruan Mei already has, you being able to get more break effect from this trace node already, giving Welt a fatter delay on his break. That is going to be an insane amount of value that he's going to bring. And I do think Welt at this current point in time, and when Ruan Mei comes out, is going to be a big change. He is going to go from a character that's not really shown off as much to possibly one of the more crazier and nice debuffers in the game. And I cannot wait for that to happen because I do love him as a unit. So I can't wait to try that out. There will be a showcase in the future, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And then lastly, for the other trace is going to be Ruan Mei regenerates energy at the start of her turn. Now this is a big thing as well because this does change the fact that what relic sets are we going to run? Are we going to rock the energy recharge sets like Von Whack and Penacani? Or are we going to be looking at a set like Talia to give us more break effect? This is all dependent on what Lightcones you have, on the substats that you have, the relics that you're going to use, whether it be 4-piece thief set or 2-piece. We're going to have to wait and see when I make the review and guide. So make sure to leave a sub and a like for all that type of stuff. If you're ready for Ruan Mei to come out, if you can't wait for her to come out, I will be having a guide on both her and Shui Yi when they release. So stay tuned for that. And then lastly, we do want to talk about what you should be putting on Ruan Mei based on all the stuff that we've gathered so far when it comes to her kit and also the trace nodes that she has. Due to the fact that there are a lot of different options depending on how they structure her, there are going to be some best in slot relic sets that we can talk about at the current moment versus the ones that might be subjective to how big these caps are, how substantial the energy versus break type of debate is going to be. So for the relics, you are going to for sure want 2-piece thief set at least, just because you are going to be getting that break effect, which is really needed for her first trace. And also you might want to rock Hackerspace 2-piece as well to give her more speed. So 2-piece is a very good option depending on her break effect from your light cone or also other substats. You might want to run 4-piece thief set, or maybe even a mix of thief set, Hackerspace, or even Longevous for the HP if you want her a little bit more tanky, or Wuthering Snow to keep her alive a little bit longer if you feel like you can't get any good pieces for those other sets. Thief set is probably a must though, at least in 2-piece. If you want to rock 4-piece, that's up to you, and we'll have to wait and see what the max threshold is for that break damage buff. We'll have to see later. For the planar ornament, Talia right now seems like a very good option for general use just because it is going to be providing break effect. If you do meet this break effect threshold that we will talk about later, Broken Kill might be a really nice option as well, or possibly Penacani and Von Whack just for the energy recharge rate, and also for Penacani giving the same ally buff if you're going to be using characters like Jing Liu or Yanqing or Herda or something like that. So these are the relics and planar ornaments that you do want to look at. And then when it comes to the light cones, Harmony does have a lot of really nice 4-star light cones, and her signature of course is going to be her very best. But for the 4 stars, we do have light cones like Memory of the Past, which is probably going to be one of her best 4-star options, which is going to be giving break effect, and it's also going to be giving more energy per attack. When you do your skill, you are going to have some time to be able to normal attack. This is just pretty much going to be how it is with her given a field. I'm pretty sure it's not one turn, so you'll at least be able to take use of that extra energy that you get from your normal attack after you use her skill. Now there are other light cones that will be nice on her just for general use. Planetary Rendezvous will be nice if you're going to be rocking Yanqing, Jing Liu, or Herda on the team just because of the same type buff. Dance is always a really good option just because of the advanced forward you get on ultimate. So these are some really nice things to rock on her as a light cone. Bronia's is an option as well, just because you do get the energy recharge and you also get the extra skill point on ultimate up to 2 times. But the only thing you're not able to control is the person that gets the buff next, because it does give a damage buff to whoever is the next character after you use your skill. And this cannot be controlled just because if you don't have a character that will guaranteed stay in that spot that they're in behind Ruan Mei, you're really not going to be able to always give it to them, just because things like CC, things like slow, all of these things can impact the order of what your teammates could go through. So other than that, that's going to be absolutely it for Ruan Mei. She's going to be absolutely busted. She provides a lot, and she by far is going to be one of the more unique units to be able to be built a bit differently than every other support that we have at the moment. We see that she's going to be providing so many buffs that it makes a crazy list to look at, and a lot of the units that will be affected will get a time to shine finally when it comes to sub DPS loadouts, when it comes to characters like Welts or characters that haven't been able to see some shine in a long time. I cannot wait. She's going to release very soon. This is going to be very exciting. But other than that, Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. Let me know if you're going to be summoning for Ruan Mei, if you're looking for Shui Yi, or you want both, or maybe you even want Blade and Ruan Mei. Let me know in the comments below who you're summoning for. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. See y'all on the next one, and peace.